Hello and welcome to the review of Amazon Prime's Docu-Series The Test. With me today is Gabriel Woodford, cricket performance analyst. Just quickly, here's a quick trailer of the test for you to have a look at.
Some tests last 5 days. Theirs lasted 2 years. Reputation broken. Character questioned. All eyes were on them, waiting for them to slip.
That is pressure.
When the weight of the nation meets the eyes of the world, you either toughen up or tough it out.
Hardly watch. Oh, he's done it.
And build a team out of you blokes.
Grind is getting piled on the Aussies now.
It's going to get harder and harder.
Cummins, this is Australia.
With unprecedented access,
Steve Smith is back.
join the Australian cricket team as they face the test.
This is a complete Cinderella story, this.
So that was the trailer of the test. Gabe, what were your initial thoughts having watched the test?
I thought it was very interesting. You know, the behind the scenes element of it is brilliant. It gives you a great insight into how the team came back from the famous scandal they had, how the team works as a dynamic, how the coach interacts with all the players, and obviously during the Ashes it was brilliant for an England fan to see what they went through. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was very, very, very interesting.
So it came out in 2020. Did you watch it straight away, or?
Yeah, well, obviously you mentioned the cricket stuff I do. I play cricket, like cricket low, so I watched it straight away as soon as it came out. I suppose they watched it straight away.
I think it was. I'm not a massive cricket fan, but I also watched it pretty soon after it came out, just because it caught my eye, and I was absorbed from the first episode to the last all the way through, and I think that was a really good aspect of it, the fact that it attracted different audiences, not necessarily cricket fans.
I'd agree. I think Netflix have been quite clever with that in the last few years. You know, with the Formula One stuff and the cricket thing was brilliant. They got a load of different fans who didn't necessarily enjoy Test cricket beforehand. Yeah, watching it and really, really enjoying it. I mean, Test match cricket has always been quite a boring sport. They've always found it quite boring, but I think the Test makes it a lot more interesting. You know, when you make it a bit more dramatic. So,
yeah, well, that's what they're doing with the 100 as well.
Yeah, because trying to grow cricket as a sport, going from boring to more traditional and more modern and a bit more fun.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that was something that the Test was able to do. For example, they've attracted me, who I played cricket when I was younger, but not necessarily now a massive fan. Yeah. And I think the ways they managed to do that was through the emotion they kind of got from the series. I was I'm half Australian, so I was kind of willing them on all the way through, wanting them to do well. And as an English cricket fan, what was your thoughts on that?
Well, I wasn't willing Australia to do well, obviously, but no, it's interesting because you do feel towards some of them. You know, they made a mistake. I mean, when they with this sandpaper thing, they made a big mistake there, but. Yeah. Watching some of the lads come back from that is hard to watch. You know, it's not nice to see anyone be cry in front of cameras. You know, so it's good to see how they rebuilt that and they really realised they made a mistake. Yeah, that stuff is not allowed in cricket. So,
and I think also the fact that it was so the behind the scenes nature of the footage that they got was another aspect that really caught my eye, because you were able to get a whole new view of the sport. For example, you say you may have watched that the Test match in 2019 where they played Pakistan or something, and then you rewatch the documentary, and you have that extra knowledge of what was going on in the changing rooms and stuff. I think that's quite cool because it adds an extra layer.
I agree. I think it was brilliant. I think that especially during the Ashes, I think it was because all the English cricket fans would have watched the Ashes, would have seen what's happening, and there was a great scene where Stokes hit that amazing 100 to win the match. And how the Australian coaches reacted. I think Smith was in there because he'd been concussed, and it's brilliant to see that. That's also at Lords when Labuschagne got knocked on the head. I think Smith got knocked on the head and he got replaced by Labuschagne. Yeah, seeing how the coaches and stuff interact with each other whilst that's going on. You know, they're not like robots. They do react like a human does. They're worried for the player and then thinking about what we can do to change it. But I thought it was fascinating because as you say, we've all seen them do it. Mm-hmm. but then you see what goes on behind that. It makes it very interesting.
Yeah, it's really cool. And here's just a little clip of an example of that, where head coach Justin Langer shows his emotion when Australia don't quite manage to get a run out. So that was just a little clip of how the behind the scenes footage kind of shows the raw emotion of the Australians, and in that instance the head coach. Now touching on how kind of the Amazon Prime series captures the culture of Australia especially. There was a scene where Langer takes his team to the Western Front in France, and just kind of, I guess it was for team bonding. What do you think of that, and how important it was for viewers to see that it's more about just the sport, and it's about their heritage and where they've come from as well?
Yeah, I think it was very, very cleverly done by Langer for taking them there. You know, it was. They were going to see the Australian soldiers. I think I remember from that, and seeing almost the dedication they've put in, and that they've put themselves on the line for Australians, makes it quite sort of like, wow, we're playing for the country. You know, playing for all these guys in the past and in the future. I think it was great, and you see some of the reactions from the team there. It was you know, not hard to watch, but you know,
it brought a lot of emotion. Yeah, and there was especially a good quote from Langer that I remember. And he was just telling his team that, you know, it's a game of cricket at the end of the day. So obviously they've put a lot of work into it, but they can really learn from what's happened in the past and take it into their cricket, but then also have a bigger picture of actually.
I think you see that there's a good scene at the end of this. I think it's when they're in the England games, they're all in the change room at the end, you know, drinking together. You know, on the field, obviously you're trying your best to get them out and win the match, but off the field, you know, it all becomes, it's just a game of cricket, as you say. So,
yeah. And that was definitely an important message that the series was portraying, was that they were trying to grow as people and as men, as well as trying to grow as a cricket team.
Exactly,
but that was how they were going to do it. That was kind of the added benefit of growing as a team was.
Yeah, I think you can't underestimate team bonding as a whole. You know, if you're not a team in a team sport, what's the point of playing? You know, so you're not a team of individuals. You want to be a unit together. So I think that's what Langer was trying to do. Yeah.
And we'll just show you a quick clip of that scene on the Western Front where the Australian team were looking at where the war was fought.
You talk about humility and you talk about big picture. Mate, it was an unbelievable experience.
I think it was perfect timing when you did have a new coach and a lot of change, and we could go as a group and spend some time together and also learn a bit about our country and what guys our age have been through, and realise how fortunate we are.
Where you're stood now, you're on the highest part of the Somme. More Australians died here than any other battlefield in history.
All those things that we know about being Australians, that Anzac spirit, is like, it wasn't lost on us.
On the walls behind us are 1,200 names of the Australians that are missing here. Each one's got a story. Some we'll know and some we won't. These men aren't missing. These men are here, each one known and remembered to us. Read the words that Mother wrote.
I'm all right, Mother. Cheerio.
The last words she heard her boy say.
People ask, why do you do that? I think it's to give us perspective. We're actually representing Australia here. It's not just about being great cricketers, it's about being a great person. Really important.
Gabe, thank you very much for your time. It was good to get your insight, especially as a cricket analyst, has a bit more knowledge about the game, so thank you. To the viewers, Series 2 was actually released in 2021, focusing on the women's side of the Australian team, so make sure to check out that. Until next time.